See,
okay.
this time we'll be creating a RESTful service.
Okay.
REST-based web services standards are called JAX-RS.
Okay.
Previously, it was called JAX-RS. There are two kinds of services in Java. One is the SOAP-based services, which is now not that much used. One
Correct.
which is
That
very popular
we
is
were
the
using in
RESTful.
the web logic side and all earlier, those what
Yes,
thing.
yes,
So
right.
best. Yeah.
So I have a screen share going on already. So here in this session, I am using OpenLiberty server, application server.
Okay.
Now, OpenLiberty application server is an open source application server. It's also very flexible and it is also modular like Spring. And this open source application server is the foundation for IBM WebSphere Liberty application server, which is a commercial product,
Yeah.
right? So to install this, you need to go to openliberty.io. This is the site where
Okay.
you can download this application server. So first thing what you can see is there are two ways you can develop application. One is with the help of the starter application. So a starter application is if you have used springboot.io, they have a starter project generator where you choose some of the components which you want to use in your application and then it generates a project. Same way you can do here. There is a starter application. You can provide the group name for
Correct.
your application. This is the artifact name and you can choose which build tool you want to use. It could be either Maven or Gradle, and you can choose the server. So Java SE version, I choose the latest one for all of them, 9.1, and here MicroProfile 5.0. So this is one way.
Okay.
Other way is if you already have an existing application, you can just put this pom dependency. So this is the coordinate for Maven, and if you put this OpenLiberty runtime into any project, that project will get converted to OpenLiberty project, and you can run it within OpenLiberty application server.
Okay.
Now, in this session, I'm using the traditional way, which is I download the package. So I can download the package as you see in the screen. I can download the latest implementation of this server, which is version 22.0.08. And I can just simply download this zip file and unzip it, and that's the installation of this server, and you are ready to go. I've done this already, and this is the folder you will get once you will unzip.
Kind of like Spring Boot suite or something kind of application.
Yes, right. So once I download this zip, you will get this file, and in this you have all the application server, right? You would have worked on Jakarta Tomcat, right? Tomcat for servlet, creating servlets. Have you created a servlet?
Not servlet.
Haven't started.
JSP, I created.
Yes,
Servlet.
JSP you would have created. Great, yeah, JSP is exactly the same. So for that you would have installed Tomcat Jakarta, right? Jakarta Tomcat's web server.
Yeah.
Right. So same thing you can do here as well. This OpenLiberty can also run JSP. It's
And
similar to
in Spring Boot automatically integrated with.
yes, right.
So we have to install here separately, I think, right?
You may install separately, but you can also use it like Spring Boot as well.
Okay.
Correct. So there are three options available, as I said. One is use the starter application and then it generates you the project, and then you can use it like Spring Boot application, right? Exactly the same flow, right? If you
Okay.
have done Spring Boot, then there's no difference as such.
Okay.
right? So you generate a starter application. So here, if you click on generate project, you'll get the zip file with the skeleton of the application,
Okay.
right? So this is one way. Or if you have any Spring Boot application, every application JSP page already created,
Mm-hmm.
and if it is a Maven project,
Mm-hmm.
then you can just copy this dependency and run it in OpenLiberty. That's also possible,
Okay.
right? So for existing application, if you don't want to write something from scratch, you already have the
Mm-hmm.
code, you just add this dependency in the pom and run the project, build the project, and that's all. You are running it in application server, which is OpenLiberty. And
Okay.
third approach is you install something in your local desktop and you build on
Mm-hmm.
it like you do JSP development, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to demonstrate this third option because this will give you complete picture about what is getting generated, what needs to be coded. Because if I generate the starter application, then no, it's
Mm-hmm.
very simple. You get the skeleton, but then no, we do this way because this will give us good idea about what is the application server, how this is getting generated, how it's getting deployed,
Correct.
right? So few things which I do is I
Mm-hmm.
deploy this, I download this application server,
Mm-hmm.
and let me walk you through with this application server. So in this
Okay.
application server, to run it, what you need to do is I'm just sharing. So I go to terminal and I go
Mm-hmm.
to the directory where this is installed, right? So I get inside here. Okay, so this is the command where you can bring in the tree structure of any directory,
Okay.
tree command. So you see here, this is the folder structure which I
Mm-hmm.
get. Now I go to the bin directory, and inside the bin directory, if you see, there is just a minute. I have to go first to WLP. Then this is bin directory. Now there are
Okay.
various folders. There are various tools, and there are various components in this bin directory. But
Correct.
we are interested in server.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say server, I'll just you choose the command I've already executed here. Just a minute. So yeah. So this is server create my server. You can run, or
Mm-hmm.
this is creating a new server. So let's say this time we call demo server. When you do this, it'll create a new server instance for us. Because in
Okay.
microservices, you may want to deploy different microservices in different server instances. So here,
Mm-hmm.
this is the feature where if you have, say, a JSP page, and maybe you have a web service which is for product information, there is another web service which is for catalog management or order placement. You can create
Correct.
different servers by
Mm-hmm.
using this command, server create, and then the name of the server. What
We
it will
can.
generate is it will generate within user folder. User is USR,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are servers folders. And if I see there, there is a default server which comes by default, and then I have a demo server. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
this is what we just created,
Correct.
right? And now we can run this demo server. So let's run this. So server start demo server. Okay, sorry. I have to come back to this folder.
Yeah, it should be in
Right,
bin,
so
I think.
bin, and now I go to bin and then I give the same command. Yes, and I'm in the Mac OS, so I have to run it like
Mhm.
this. So now it's saying starting demo server,
Okay.
correct? So in few seconds, this demo server will be started,
Mhm.
and this will get started.
Some PID is
Yes,
generated.
demo server is started, right? Now it
Correct.
is by default in the port 9080.
Mhm.
So I go to localhost, and instead of 8080,
It.
which is generally, this is the
Mhm.
server which is running now. This is the OpenLiberty server running, and this is the
Okay.
local host welcome page, right?
Mhm.
So there are two standards which is implemented by it. This is the Java EE. It's 100% compliant with Java EE.
Okay.
Now it's called Jakarta EE. So that's why
Yeah.
you see this logo, Jakarta EE compatible.
Correct.
And there is
Mhm.
also a MicroProfile compliance. So MicroProfile is a
Mhm.
standard which is baseline standard for creating microservices. It's also
Mhm.
part of, or you can say, microprofile project. What it does is it took the basic components from Java EE,
Mhm.
and these components are just enough to create microservices. So these
Okay.
components includes context and dependency injection. It include
Mhm.
also JSON processing, because for microprocessing you need JSON binding and JSON
So we
parsing.
can put it everything in container or how it is? It
Is
is
already
container.
coming. It's coming by default,
Mhm.
right? So you have already these things already installed, and you have also auth JWT authentication, right?
Okay.
So now
Mhm.
we got the server installed and running.
Mhm.
Let's now start building an application, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
So, but yes, before that, let me show you some more features of this demo server.
Mhm.
So we are in bin directory, right?
Yeah.
There is another command which is called product info. Yeah. So this product info command, what it does, it can list all the features which is there in this server.
Okay.
So if I give this command, it shows that these are the features which is already there in this
Available.
server. So you see a lot of list is there, right? So you have this admin
Mhm.
center, there is app security components. Interesting one are
Mhm.
bean validation, again Java EE. This context
Correct.
and dependency injection 2.0,
Mhm.
right? Then EJBs you can create here, and
Correct.
you have Jakarta EE 8.0, right? So there are so many
Mhm.
things which is already bundled here.
JDB.
JAX-RS, this is what we've talked about, that web services,
Mhm.
RESTful web services, this client
Correct.
as well as the server component. So JDBCs, and you'll find all the features. Now,
Mhm.
since you are doing microservice development, you may use only few of these and remaining you don't want. So this
Mhm.
also provides you the flexibility to remove the features which you don't need.
Okay.
Correct? So
Whatever we need, we can keep it, and remaining one
yes,
make it
the if
lightweight.
you the features you don't need, you can give the command, appropriate command, and enable disable the features,
Okay.
right? Or remove these features, and
Mhm.
whatever new feature is coming, it's, you see here, this is in the bin folder,
Audit.
right? So
Mhm.
you can manually delete it. So that's why it's very flexible and modular,
Okay.
right? So
This was
next,
found by the IBM. No?
yes, this is also very popular, very advanced application
Mhm.
server.
Mhm.
Great. So next thing is, okay, we'll create this starter application. So we can start
Okay.
this as starter application. We'll deploy it in our demo server or any server
Mhm.
which we have installed locally. We don't need to, but just I wanted to give you that also this familiarity with the server, because
Mhm.
uh, what you do is, when you run the starter application, this is your development time, right?
Yeah.
This is your design time.
Mhm.
Once you have finished the development, you would
Mhm.
like to run this application in a production machine, right?
Correct.
That production machine may be running in AWS, or it may be in Google Cloud or Azure. So
Yeah.
having this running in the local machine is helpful, because this OpenLiberty server, you can run it in local machine and run your production code also there. And if you have dependencies from other projects, you can deploy here as well. So this is also very important for any developer to learn. And what I did is I installed it in my local machine. But what I
Mhm.
could have done is I could have deployed it in Docker container also, right? So
Okay.
you install Docker and create a Docker container. There is an image available for
Mhm.
OpenLiberty as well, which is an official image. You just run this in the Docker container as well. So these servers could be
Okay.
run in Docker containers.
Mhm.
So next thing, what I will show you, how do I create a RESTful web service, right?
Okay.
So we'll go to the coding aspect, because now we got the environment set up.
Mhm.
So this time we'll not touch upon the database code, but we
Okay.
will create a simple class and create a product web service.
Mhm.
So here is my code, which is generated uh, from the starter project, right?
Mhm.
You can do it manually or via Maven archetype. You can
It
create this
is
project.
kind of almost similar to Spring Boot,
Yes,
like
this exactly same as Spring Boot.
pom.xml is there.
Correct, correct. So if we go through the source files, I created few, so you will not get these product service. This is what I
Mhm.
created. I'll cover
Okay.
this later. But what you'll
Mhm.
get is, you will get a REST application file,
Yeah, which is
which is very
controller and
simple. It's just REST application extends application, and
mhm.
there is an application path which you can
Mhm.
set as API or whatever is
Yeah.
your base folder.
Yeah,
Correct?
got it. In the
So
Spring,
it's,
if you say if you want to go with that REST controller and then you get
yes,
that controller part. This
yes.
is the.
This is even simpler than Spring Boot.
Mhm.
I would say, not, if not, no, is almost same complexity or even similar. And Spring Boot 6.0 will also comply to Jakarta EE standard. So
Mhm.
this will converge. So whatever do you do here, you can deploy in
Mhm.
Spring Boot. Whatever you do in Spring Boot can deploy it on
Okay.
OpenLiberty. So in next few
Mhm.
releases, this thing will converge. So whatever I'm teaching will also
Mhm.
apply in the Spring Boot, but not
Mhm.
with this release, but with the release 6.0 onwards, right?
Okay.
Now other files are, you can see here you have the Docker image as well. So you just run this, you get the application running on the Docker as well, right? So this IDE is IntelliJ Ultimate Edition. So this is
Okay.
from
Okay.
JetBrains, right? IntelliJ
Mhm.
idea Ultimate Edition.
Mhm.
It also has a OpenLiberty tool plugin. Okay, so I
Mhm.
have this OpenLiberty tool plugin. So it
Mhm.
does very simple things, like it creates the various Maven commands here are visible. So I can click them and run it.
Mhm.
Now we looked into the REST application, which is the base application. Very simple. Only one annotation which you need to
Mhm.
learn in this. Nothing more.
Correct.
Right? So which is application path, and it specifies the path of the application. Next thing is,
Next is like post get
this
and
is
all.
Maven wrapper. right? So yeah, we'll look into more files. I showed you Docker file, git ignore, docker ignore. This is nothing great. What files to ignore for Docker and for git when you check in the code? Uh, this is nothing. It's just the Maven. If you don't have Maven installed, then you can run this, right? This is the pom.xml. This is very important.
Where we are
This
on
is your
dependencies.
project detail which we filled up in the form while generating the application.
Correct.
Java compiler 17, this is what we used, right? So this shows here property. Now the dependency, first dependency is Java EE, because we'll be using JAXRS, and JAXRS is part of Java EE platform. So that's why this dependency is there. We could also use just JAX-RS dependency, but then we would need more dependencies like CDI, JSON parsing, JSON binding, right?
Okay.
So that's why easiest way is you include everything which is Jakarta EE API. This is MicroProfile, which we also talked about,
Yeah.
right? And in addition to this, this is Maven plugin. So this is for just building your project.
Correct.
And there is a Liberty Maven plugin as well. Correct. So this is all about your application.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think yeah, this plugins is repeated. You can remove this. We already got this. Wow. So yeah, this is our POM, and that structure already. SRC as main has the Java projects, and let's come what to do if I want to create a resource and expose it as a web service. What I need to write code. So first thing is you just write a simple Java code, Java class, Pojo class. This is, say for example, I have a resource which is product, and this is assume an e-commerce application. So product
Product
will
ID
have an
name and
ID
all those things.
and a product name, just these two for fields. I have getters here, and I have the constructor, right? So this with this very simple code,
Yeah.
and then I need to use this class into my service, inside my service. So I have a product service class. In this, what I do is I have a method which is called get products. What it does is get products. It will create two products and it will return a list of products, right?
Yeah.
If you use a database, you could use this to connect to JDBC and retrieve the products.
Yeah.
But yeah, for simplicity, this very simple code. I have just two objects of product and I'm adding it to product list, which is an array list, and this is being returned. Now, important annotations to understand here is one is the root at path, correct, which is products. This will define the path, right? So our application is /API and then you have /products.
Correct.
Okay, then you have produces, because this returns and it produces JSON,
Yes, sir.
right? So this server automatically implements JSON parsing and JSON binding. So we don't need to do anything. It will automatically get converted to JSON,
Yes, sir.
right? So let's run this. So let me stop the demo server. So I will give this command now to stop the demo server and we'll run it. Okay, great. So now this server is stopped, which we ran demo server. Now to run this, since we have the Maven here, everything is there. So we'll run the application using Maven commands. Yeah. So
Yeah.
to run it, there are two ways to run. One, you can run in the dev mode. Okay. Even giving this command we don't need because we have this plugin installed. So I will start a dev mode. So dev mode is a mode where if you start the server in dev mode, if you
Mhm.
make any changes to your application,
Again, it will automatically start.
automatically it will detect and it will update. Yeah,
Mhm.
so you did not have to manually stop, restart the server, redeploy your application. It saves a lot of time. Correct. So yes, now you see it's launching the server, and this is running in the default server because we would have specified in the settings. Okay, yeah, one important thing I missed out. There is a file called server.xml within this folder structure. Yeah, this is nothing. It has here the feature list which we want, right? So if we don't want MicroProfile, we can simply remove this. So for this application, we can just remove it. We don't need it. We are just using standard Java EE. So this feature manager will manage the features of the application server. So if you want to add more features, you can add these features. And since I have the Maven plugin, I don't need to remember the name of the features. It will automatically come. It will also automatically suggest, right? So somehow, yeah. So it should suggest. So you don't need to remember what has to be done. But yeah, somehow maybe this plugin has not got that instantiated. But yes, this is how you will add and remove features to your application server. Now this is your application server has been running, and let me now go to the path which we provided. So this is the localhost welcome page. Our application
API
context
and get
is API, and then we have products,
products.
and this is a get request, so you can make it from our
Mhm.
application server itself, right? So you
Correct.
see here, this is
Yeah.
what we entered, and this what is coming out. And now since we are in the dev mode, right, so let's go to our product service, and we will add few more products and see if it can automatically detect and update. So let's say we add one more product. We'll call this 3, and his name is product 3 simply. And we'll add just a semicolon at the end, and we just save it. So I have not done anything. I've just saved it,
Mhm.
and it is trying to update this. And now I think update should have happened, and you see here the product 3 coming, right? So you can
Correct.
modify, do the business logic, and very quickly and easily kind of see what the changes are no impacting your application. And this provides very easy development. So this is about doing restful web development in OpenLiberty. Or this code you can just deploy in any other application server as well. And
Mhm.
this will work the same way like you have a get service for the product,
Correct.
right? So just few things that to install the OpenLiberty plugin, you have to go to from the menu of IntelliJ IDEA into plugins.
Mhm.
And if you see the installed plugins, I have this OpenLiberty tool. This is the plugin for OpenLiberty. So this provides me this Liberty options on the corner here, right side, and then I can start this in dev mode. There is dev mode in container. This does the container development. It will install these application server in the container, which is a Docker, and will run and instantiate for here. So Docker file is also included in the starter application, so you can run it and run it and deploy it in container just by clicking this. And you can stop the dev mode. And then there is another mode which is called dev mode with triple dot. So here it is having some parameters. So for example, hot tests equal to true. If I give this and start my server in this dev mode with this, what will happen is it will automatically run the test cases as well. And every time I make any changes, it will execute the test cases. So this is the other advantage of having the start dev mode with triple dots, where you can pass some parameters, and if you pass parameter as hot test, then every time you make the changes, your unit test will also get executed. Or you can separately run the unit test as well. So this is where you will run unit tests, and once your unit test is run, it can generate the report as well. And you can use this report to just analyze how many test cases have passed, how many have failed, and what failures are there. So you can run your test and you can generate the unit test reports as well. So this project provides the entire life cycle of development, which starts from coding, building, testing and debugging, unit testing, and reporting. So now this is the vanilla Jakarta EE server implementation. We'll try to do some liveness checking as well on this. So liveness checking is, although your microservice is running, but you may have multiple microservices. In real applications like Amazon or Flipkart, there may be hundreds of microservices which are running. So in microservice architecture, one of the biggest challenges, you have to always stay on top of that, how many microservices are running, are they really healthy or not. So let's do some health check, have some health check and readiness checking for this microservice. So let's add a new feature to this application server, which is feature, and I will say MP health and say 1.0. And if I save this, so any changes in my configuration is also automatically detected in the dev mode, and this will also get automatically updated in my local environment. Yeah, so the server is already running. Okay, so yeah, I have multiple terminal windows open. So let me first clean it up and then I'll run. So I'll just terminate all the instances, then run in dev mode again my server. Here I have updated the feature with MP health check. And within this, I can add some configuration also for health check. So there are already many configuration, which is HTTP endpoint. So here is the context root configuration, which shows that our web application will be having a context root, which is / which is the root directory, which is the WLP directory, and it will look for product.vs.var file to be deployed. So now let me add one more configuration, which is for health check. Okay, so this is having an ID my app and it has a status. Now, if you see here installing features, and it has already included health check feature in this default server instance. And this is what I added just now, and this MP health is now included in this server. Now, what will happen is if I go to the URL for the health check, which will be, I have also provided status is the URL for my health check. So I go to my OpenLiberty server, and then here I will put status. Okay, so just let me try. Let me see what's the state of application server. I have this application server running. Then I have our API and products. Okay, something happened, it's not running. Let me see. So it's installing features, and then it somehow did not say that server started. Looks like got stuck due to some reason. We did a start in
saying
that.
installing some features and all.
Yeah, maybe it got stuck in that process. Q is the command to quit the server, or let me close it. I'll terminate it and I will start it again. I could have used this stop dev mode also. That would have also stopped the server. So I'm just running it again.
Yeah, it's maybe required time because it's installing something.
Yes.
Some features it is downloading or might be.
Correct. Sure. So yeah, what will happen is that will I'll show you in different way, because from the documentation I'll show you. This application server has a very good documentation. It has various guides, so which is injecting dependencies, it's about various other features. And what I was trying to do was doing liveness checking and health checking, right? So this is explained in, I'll just see, it's OpenLiberty, probably. Yeah, this has something about health check. Yeah, so you would have seen in this place that there is a health check and status is up. So this will come by default, and then some health checks could also be implemented. And once you implement some health check, which is just through some configuration, you will see that, okay, system resource health check is there, and system resource liveness check is there, and it gives you status up. So this way, for all the microservices, very easily you can implement the monitoring or observability for your microservices. So this is something which comes from MicroProfile. This is not part of the Jakarta EE standard, but here is the logic. So they have also added some code. This code, what it does is it gets the memory bean, MX bean. This is an API which is exposed by the Java environment itself, JVM itself. And they check what is the memory used by calling this API and then see if it is more than 90%, then they will return false, otherwise they will return true. Right, so it's just returning the liveness check, and it's returning the status based on this condition: is memory used 90% less than 90% of the maximum memory available. So this way you can ensure that you know
But
about
1
any
GB, 0.9
failures.
GB is used, then it will be
Yes, yes, right. You can automate also if it goes beyond, you do something, and maybe this will help you making your system up and available throughout.
correct. Yeah, normally if it is microservice architecture means like we have to multiple threads and multiple services. So better to have complete health check of each applications in one centralized place.
Yes,
So
yes.
like normally in the other Spring Boot and all, we deploy in the Kubernetes and there we will monitor health checks, number of replicas, etc. everything.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. So you can connect your Kubernetes with this URL, right? And
Correct.
based on this JSON, you can
Mm,
you can declare what actions to be taken.
mm,
Yes, so this way you get a very stable, reliable
correct.
microservice. So you don't not
Yes.
just create a microservice, but you create a really very reliable microservice. There are
Mm.
many other features as well, which
Is
I'll
it
cover in the
open
next.
source? This is like how it is. Any license required for this IBM?
No, no license required.
Mhm.
Right, so only thing is IntelliJ Ultimate Edition is something where you may need a license, but
That
trial
I know,
version
yeah.
is available. You can have a 30-day trial free of
Correct.
cost, right?
Yeah.
Because you are not using it for any production or commercial purpose. You can use the
Mm.
trial edition of IntelliJ IDE. Also, you can use Eclipse as well. So same thing you can do with Eclipse, or Visual Studio Code, or you can use NetBeans as well. So various IDEs you can use, and server is totally free and open source, right? So it doesn't take more space also. Is It will take hardly 300 MB, and if you install and remove features accordingly, side size will fail will change, but it will always be less than 500 MB.
Mm.
Correct. So this how you will develop microservices, and we'll cover more features about MicroProfile, because there are many things more which is available, which is about retries, which is about fault tolerance, matrices, various other features are there which will I'll cover. But yeah, this is the basics, and now we can extend this to include database calls. You can include various formats also, by if you want to return XML and other data formats as well, you can do that just by modifying the annotations, as simple as that, or creating multiple methods and each with different set of annotations. So that way you may pass a parameter, and based on that parameter you may choose whether to return XML or JSON.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect, perfect. So if no further question, then we can close this session for today.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, Ravi. Thanks for joining. And
Yeah, thank
yes, tried this out. And last time I also shared recording of how to use GlassFish application server, and I did some basics about servlets. And
Mm.
maybe in coming classes we'll cover more details about creating front-end applications, and how to call the RESTful services, and how to implement more enhanced features on RESTful web services, because
Sure.
there are other standards as well, like HTOS, and how to create very good REST services. We'll connect this also to database, and we'll implement other services as well, like post, update, put, delete.
Yeah.
So these all things we can also update to this particular RESTful web service. But for today, due to the time constraint, we'll just cover the
Yeah,
get
basics
get
of that.
request. Yes.
Yeah, in Spring Boot we have a in-memory DB also H2 or something like that. Here it
Yes,
won't be
H2.
available.
Yeah, you can use here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So database MySQL could be used or Postgres could be used. H2 is
Mm-hmm.
again for testing purpose.
Yeah,
Better
that
to
interesting.
use MySQL here in this case, because
Mm-hmm.
then you can create really good applications, and when you migrate your application to production, you don't have to change
Mm-hmm.
if it's running MySQL is very good in performance for production environment as well, and it's
Correct.
lightweight enough to run on the desktops as well, our local systems as well. So that could
Correct.
also be used for
Yeah.
development as well as in
Currently, I
production.
am doing with my SQL and Spring Boot testing and all learning things.
Yes, yes,
It is I did all in desktop. Yeah, it is easy to lightweight.
correct. Correct. Yes. Great. Great. So yeah, I'll cover more details about the JSON binding as well, because
Mm-hmm.
what now one thing which we have done is we have created a class and we are exposing everything in the JSON.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you don't want to expose the ID or some important fields you don't want to expose, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
restrict the fields based on the authentication? So that also is possible, that if price is
Yeah.
there, you can show the price to some users, and if you have
Mm-hmm.
a stock, show the
Yeah.
stock to some users, don't show it to customers.
Yeah,
all
like
these
security
all these
dependency.
yes, authentication, role based access mechanism you can implement RBAM.
And here also like in the we are using JWT token and all in Spring Boot like
Yes,
bearer token or something.
correct. So JWT bearer token and all also I'll cover in later sessions. Yeah, right. So
Mm.
definitely, rest topic is so deep that definitely I see at least 5 sessions I would need to cover it in full depth, so that everyone understands it also, and they also appreciate that what's the application usefulness of these features, and then they can
Mm.
create any microservices based applications on their own.
Mm. Correct.
Great. So then have a nice Sunday ahead.